Ian, Garry look great.
Oh man, I thought that this was a disappointing fight, man. I think the aura that Rakhmonov had kind of diminishes a little bit. Like he didn't have those 18, he was 18-0, 18 finishes.
Shavkat was the winner. He got the job done. 4 rounds to 1, maybe 3 rounds to 2, okay? But it wasn't the best fight. It just wasn't, okay? It takes 2 to tango. And to be honest, this was high-level mixed martial arts with serious consequences.
I thought the respect between the two guys was very prevalent in that fight.
Yeah.
I thought that they both, you could see they were a little hesitant to giving each other opportunities for the other to capitalize on. Yeah. I haven't seen Shavkat that reserved in a first round since he started, right?
Ian Garry had a very legitimate chance tonight, and Ian Garry physically did some things extremely well.
Correct. It was a boring fight. It really was, but I think it was a boring fight, but it was also close. I mean through rounds it was close, but I felt like pretty much Shavkat was in control of the fight, but he was also put in positions where he was more in danger, and particularly that 5th round when Ian Garry was able to get that choke.
Yeah, it was really close. I thought he pulled it off. I think the 2 rounds, the 3 rounds was the right call. Man, that choke was very close to Ian at the end. I was like, man, again, the MVP fight, so close. But come on, Charles, help him.
I'm happy that in about round 2, we started seeing Ian start to open up, especially with his kicks. He was having a lot of success with his kicks, as well as with that lead oblique kick. I think that was giving him trouble, Shavkat trouble, because like he was getting good reads and good looks every time he threw that kick.
Ian Garry did what Nate Quarry, I feel, developed. And Nate Quarry would call it anti-wrestling. And every time Rakhmonov closed the gap and got his hands on Garry, Garry backed up. It's important that you understand that. If you're ever dealing with a guy who's a better wrestler than you, back up.
Like if you're not able to take down a guy like Ian Garry down, that means Ian Garry, one, is getting better, but then 2, Shavkat's also, I mean, will he be able to take down a guy like, potentially Bilal Muhammad?
Shavkat clearly wanted to take him down to the ground and was able to do that on a couple of occasions. But on the flip side, Machado Garry, he was looking to counter-strike. He didn't want to go forward. He didn't want to be too aggressive. He didn't want to get caught coming in. He didn't want to get caught with a reckless shot. And he didn't want to get taken down. He didn't want Shavkat to level change as he was coming forward, advancing with strikes, grab a leg, whatever the case may be. So he was taking his time. He was being methodical. And yes, the crowd were booing at times. But not every single fight that you're going to see is going to be 2 guys going crazy, all blood and guts, throwing caution to the wind, and just smashing each other's faces in.
Shavkat definitely looked great once he started started open mat shooting for doubles and really committing to that sort of play.
So if you're Ian Garry and you're going to get overwhelmed in wrestling, don't wrestle. How do you not wrestle? You do the one thing in wrestling that's illegal. Back up. When you run into a fence, there are some takedown opportunities that are exposed and developed on the fence. But aside from Khabib, nobody's able to utilize them. Going into the fence is a very good way to defend yourself from being taken down. I'm just sharing with you, when Ian Garry starts doing this, Rakhmonov had every right to get frustrated, but he didn't.
That's what I expected. Ian needs to create space. Ian's a very good and dynamic striker. And you could tell, you saw that in the fight. If he's able to create space, then he's able to kind of get his flow going. And Shavkat wants to get to the action. He just wants to, I got to get my hands on you. And you're right, Henry. I do think, and this is some of the things that I was seeing, but, obviously with the potential of me potentially fighting him, I didn't want to give too much away. But these are some of the things that I'm seeing. There is holes in both of their games, as you could see. I am a wrestler. Once Ian got taken down a few times, the fight kind of got away from him.
I think the fact that they both trained together before, I think that played a big part in it. And also, Shavkat hasn't fought in a while, so this is the first time coming back in a year. And this is his first 5-round fight, so now he knows how it feels in 5 rounds. So I think for him, it was like, all right, I don't want to go super hard early because I don't know how I'm going to be in the 4th and 5th round. So that was my thoughts of the whole thing, but you never know. They both could have just been out of shape.
I don't know. I wouldn't say it was like an absolute barn burner, but it was definitely a striking. It was definitely a fight, high IQ fight. There was very little room for error in that fight because both guys had the ability to capitalize on any sort of give. And yeah, where it was a good fight. I don't know if it was like one for the common fans, but it was a great fight to watch because these were two guys that were riding such strong streaks.
Rakhmonov has never lost a position. Can't say that anymore. Rakhmonov has never lost a round. I don't know who those judges gave the 5th round to. I couldn't hear. I bet they gave it to Garry, though. I think that. And if I'm right, then he can't say that anymore.
I felt like Rakhmonov respect Ian a little too much, quite honestly. Like he was going for too many takedowns. I forget that. I mean, I think he was 2 for 10 on takedowns or some crazy number like that. Like with Rakhmonov.
Michelle Garry did himself proud. The well, that's gone. He's no longer undefeated. Shavkat Rakhmonov, the finishing streak, that has gone, but he's still undefeated. He's 19-0 now.
I will say Ian Garry definitely controlled that mid-range fight. Yeah. And Shavkat was taking damage trying to get in. Then Shavkat would push him up against the fence. And I'll give props to Ian Garry, mate. His defense on the fence, like his fence work was top-notch.
Yeah.
Shavkat is so comfortable there, riding people out and just really pushing that game, that upper body clinch work, as you said, to the body lock, and just like creating the fight that he wants from that point. But Ian Garry shut it down, circled out, went back to center ring, and then would just control that mid space with great kick work.
Rakhmonov has never lost a position. Can't say that anymore. Rakhmonov has never lost a round. I don't know who those judges gave the 5th round to. I couldn't hear. I bet they gave it to Garry, though. I think that. And if I'm right, then he can't say that anymore.
And Shavkat, as far as standing and putting the combinations together, he couldn't really do that well with Ian Garry. And so there's holes in both of their games, but I expected a fight like this, and I knew it wasn't going to be the most barn burner exciting fight that a lot of people were salivating over. But nonetheless, it shows how Shavkat is a dog. He's willing to just do whatever it takes to get in there and get that win. And so is Ian. It's just that Shavkat was a little bit more of a dog than Ian Garry, and he was out there to get.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely an impressive fight from Ian, right? Because he defended a lot of the takedowns. He didn't get taken down. A lot of people thought it was going to be in there, get washed. They thought he was going to get taken down. Subbed. He got tapped in practice, right? But the way that Shavkat had his entrances and decided to manage the fight instead of going for the finish, where I was a little bit surprised. I thought he was going to go for the finish a lot earlier, but I think that he played the game plan strategy type role. And like I said, for myself, the only thing I saw is that I win, regardless of when it is, how it's going to be. I knew that I was going to be able to beat both of them, whoever came out on top. But after watching it, getting another 5 rounds of seeing it, now I know that it's going to be a fight for me that I'm going to walk through.
I will say Ian Garry's lead left high kick to Shavkat was just so fast. It was such a clean kick to watch. I love seeing things like that because it's just beautiful to watch.
Rakhmonov has never gone the distance with anybody. Nobody could survive 3 rounds with Rakhmonov, let alone the 5. Ian Garry did what no other guy could do, plus 70%. That's very impressive. And I'm campaigning for Ian Garry.
Kamara, how did you score it round by round? Did you have it? Did you have it 3-2?
3-2. Yeah, I think I had it 3-2.
Okay, 3-2, 3 and 5 for. What did you think when Shavkat had him in the freaking rear naked choke, dude? Where you're like, damn, this shit's about to.
Ian Garry.
Yeah, Ian Garry when he had a Shavkat in that rear naked choke.
I saw a little bit of panic in Shavkat's face because. It's when we've never been in certain situations, certain positions, then it feels foreign. And that's all I felt. I felt the foreign. I saw that in his face, like, oh, how am I here? How did I get here? And so I was a little worried. I was like, oh, my God, he's potentially about to get finished here. but he was able to hang on and get the decision, which is more power to him.
And now, Ian Machado Garry, his stock rose in that loss. Let's be honest, okay? He's right what he said. He came out, he did a video afterwards saying nobody wanted to fight this guy. He was the bogeyman of the division. I stepped up on short notice and I almost got the finish. Who was the guy to almost finish him? Me, the striker.
I think I'm a better striker. I think I'm better everywhere. People will sit there and call me a grappler, but in the Leon fight, I outstruck him. He was supposed to be the best striker in the division, and then I walked him down and broke him on the feet and on the ground. I had 100 more strikes than him. So people could say what they want to say, but I think I am the best striker in the division. And the way that I fight, it's different than the rest of these guys. So it's hard for these guys to catch reads on me, figure me out until you see me in front of you. And then when you see me in front of you, it's already too late because I'm hitting you.
Because Garry won tonight for me. His stock went up tonight for me. Garry did a really good job. He had 3 wins tonight, three firsts that have never happened.
Yeah, about this fight, Henry, I wasn't surprised. You know, I told you what was going to happen.
I wouldn't give him those times to rest, right? There's times when he's resting on the cage, holding him. They're holding over under. You're getting the ref to having to tell you to work. There won't be that moment with me. I'm going to be the one with the foot on the gas. I'm going to be the one pushing him on the fence, taking him down, letting him back up, taking him down, letting him back up. And if you never felt that before, you're going to be drowning. It's going to feel like there's nowhere to go. It's going to feel like you're in quicksand. And the same way Leon felt it and he broke, it's going to be the same thing with Shavkat.
I mean, Rakhmonov, he did it. That aura kind of diminishes a little bit, dude. I think sometimes that aura, when people have that, and particularly a championship fight, like the champion going in, there's going to be a lot more confident going in there because he knows that, hey, this dude did not finish a guy when he had the opportunity to, and he had all this, finishing rates. But whatever that is, Ian Garry Rakhmonov is next entitled for a fight with Bilal Muhammad, and I do believe that the UFC is going to do that sooner rather than later.
Fight. Shavkat Rakhmonov oftentimes is technical, he is strategic, he takes his time, but he normally finds a way to win. And of course, in round 5, when Ian Machado Garry took the back, almost got the rear naked choke, there was some real excitement in the building then because it looked like a massive upset was about to happen. Because prior to that, Shavkat controlled the fight. He did. He got the clinch pretty easy. Ian did a really good job of using underhooks against the fence, pummeling in and out, and stopping the takedown, keeping the fight on the feet. But that was about all he was doing. Shavkat landed some nice singular shots, a couple of spinning back kicks to the body, a couple of spinning wheel kicks that almost found the target. But it wasn't a barn burner, but it was a solid victory for Shavkat. Remember, Ian Garry, he's also undefeated. He was 15-0. Now he's 15-1. He'll learn